Hi, my name is Axel Hackinson, and this screencast entails Zlatan Ibrahimovic, a successful Swedish football player, and how he impacts the lives of thousands of kids growing up in Rosengård, a suburb in Malmö, Sweden, which isn't exactly known as the most peaceful nor brightest area of Sweden. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was born in 1981 in Rosengård, Malmö, with a Bosnian and Croatian background. Zlatan has an older sister and had an older brother who passed away a couple of years ago. His family has played a great role in Zlatan's success. Without them, his dream of becoming the greatest football player in the world would have been so much harder. At the age of 6, Zlatan received his first pair of football boots from his father, which he had purchased for him at a random market in Rosengård for about 50 kroner, which is approximately 8 francs. And this is where his journey started. In his childhood career, from the age of 6 to 15, he played for 4 different clubs in Rosengård. This was due to his attitude, and since he wasn't and since it was really disrespectful for everyone in the team, and it wasn't really tolerated that long for neither for the parents or coaches of these teams. He wasn't either given the support to solve this issue. His parents, who were struggling to keep the food on the table for him, and his 2 siblings couldn't support him. His attitude and determination is what kept him going, and might have been the key to his success. At the age of 15, he joined the team of Malmö FF. This was and still is considered to be Sweden's best football club. It was because of his father that got sick of Zlatan getting kicked out of the small teams and wanted him to go big. They got him into a tryout for Malmö FF. Once he turned 16 and got an official position in the team, he received a lot of financial and social support, both at school and at home, from the club. In 2001, he was bought to Ajax in Amsterdam, Holland, for a sum which seemed unimaginable for him and the entire Swedish population. He was now known as the boy with the golden shoes, and everyone loved him. 15 years later, and Zlatan has played for multiple teams in 5 different countries, Barcelona being the strongest team he has ever played for, with players like Messi and Xavi. Though this had been his dream since he was 9 years old, he didn't really enjoy his stay there and decided to move back to Italy with his wife and 2 sons. Zlatan's life hasn't always been a dance on roses, however. He experienced an extremely tough childhood with several obstacles in his way. Being raised in what used to be a calm suburb in the 70s, Rosengård has turned into a region with a high number of immigration the last 20 years, and is possibly the most multicultural region in Sweden. Violence has become something which several people encounter in their everyday life and are discriminated for their beliefs and culture. Zlatan faced many difficulties with this growing up, with school and family problems. Today, politicians of Sweden are debating this issue, with Rosengård being in the spotlight of the problem. However, it has become too late to act. Recent studies of schools in Rosengård have estimated that only 40% of the kids of 9th grade pass their courses. The problem doesn't stop there. These 40% who have passed aren't supported enough to be able to do anything with their skills and knowledge, and are only accepted into what are considered the worst schools in Sweden. Even those few who have as high points as those kids who live only 5 to 10 minutes away from Rosengård, where the majority of students are Sweden. The 60% of kids that don't pass, as well as those who aren't accepted into their high schools, aren't receiving any support and are most likely to end up without a job or minimum wage, and having to live with their parents who aren't even able to support them. It's important to consider the fact that the amount of immigrants in Sweden, Rosengård, is so high, yet schools and jobs are prioritizing the Swedes. This is how Zlatan has become an image and role model for these kids. Though he was amongst the poorest of these children, he was able to and had the courage to work hard for his dream in order for it to become a reality. Today, the number of kids that are facing the same challenges Zlatan did are only increasing. In fact, they are increasing significantly as the Swedish government aren't doing anything about the poor school conditions, nor about the job opportunities and the amount of jobs available. Instead of increasing, they're decreasing. I myself socialized with several kids through football when I lived in Sweden that grew up in Rosengård. I can tell they aren't getting much out of their lives at all. The only place where these kids can breathe out and enjoy themselves is when they're playing football together with their best friends, beating some of the best teams out there. That's the only place where they feel they matter and where they can make a difference. It's through Zlatan that these kids have been willing to trust and believe in themselves in order to do the best out of whatever situation they're in. Through Zlatan's years as a professional soccer player, he has always felt the need to give something back to Rosengård and where he came from. A way to show his appreciation for the city, but also a way of showing the people of the city his understanding of what they are going through. To show his appreciation, he has done several things to his hometown of Rosengård. The first thing he did was to donate hundreds of thousands of dollars to support children that are suffering from medical problems that hinder them from playing football. This year he donated thousands to a team of handicapped children from Rosengård that had a dream of representing Sweden in a small version of the World Cup, which was also hosted in Brazil, just like the original World Cup. Zlatan's support was enough to cover all payments of the trip. Another great thing Zlatan did to show his respect to Rosengård was to build his own football court. The court, which is also known as Zlatan Court, is located near Zlatan's old home, as that's where he used to spend hours every day kicking his football. There's a famous quote from Zlatan in Swedish. Man kan ta en kille från Rosengård, men man kan inte ta Rosengård från en kille. Meaning you can take a guy from Rosengård, but you can't take Rosengård from a guy. This quote is written in big letters over a tunnel that connects Malmo to Rosengård, and has an incredibly positive effect on those living in Rosengård. It sort of makes them remember to never forget where they're from and who they are, and that you should always believe in yourself, just like Zlatan did. The quote was also mentioned in Zlatan's famous biography that is now known all over the world. He refers back to his life in Rosengård several times in it, and says some very nice words about it, which is truly admirable. Though it's gone a few years since Zlatan was on his peak of his career, where he performed at his best, he still plays for one of the best teams in the world, competing with other top teams. Every once in a while, he takes time off soccer and spends time with his family. The kids of Rosengård will always see Zlatan as a hero, no matter if you're a girl or boy, and whether or not you play football. Zlatan will never forget where he originally came from and who he is, and neither will the people of Rosengård.